Haldo, everybody. Oh, let me actually check my microphone. Is my microphone on? I'm always paranoid about that. Yes. Okay, good. Apparently, I'm not the only one who's always paranoid about that. So, Haldo, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Stream Dark Souls. Specifically, the Prepare to Die edition. I will be right back. I actually forgot something. I thought I had a drink with me. I do not. With how much I talk, that would be a bad thing to not have a drink. So I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I am back, and I actually have a drink, because, you know, hydration's important. Don't normally watch the Dark Souls streams, but I need something to distract me from the frustration of my work today, so hi! Hi, Fairy! You actually missed this morning's, surprise, Lunacid stream. We got a bunch of stuff going on in Lunacid right now, but, so, what's changed between this episode and the last? You notice I have a lot of souls. If we actually look at my equipment here, a lot of upgraded weapons. We have the Uchikatana plus 10, the Falchion plus 10. That Uchikatana, by the way, that's going to be my new primary weapon. I will still be swapping to the Gargoyle's Halberd every now and again. But for a general sword and board kind of playstyle, I will stick with the Uchikatana. The Halberd's more for two-handed play. Let me make sure my mic's not muted. There we go. Yeah, I know I did that twice, but I had to mute it while I went to go get my drink, so. Okay, so, Divine Reinforced Club, that hasn't changed. Large Club plus 10, that's for very specific situations where I need a lot of two-handed power, and the Halberd will not cut it. Let's see, Gargoyle's Halberd plus 10, of course, Longbow plus 10, Baldur's Shield, Spider Shield plus 10. I think that's everything, and then we also upgraded our armor. Wanderer Hood and Dingy Hood are at plus 6, and the various body armors I have actually upgraded to plus 7 because I had the spare Titanite chunks. And we're going to be sticking with plus 10 weapons for quite a while, so using the chunks now for a little bit better protection was actually the better plan in my eyes. So now that we've done all of that, I actually want to head back towards Firelink. Because before we go into Sen's Fortress, I actually want to make a pit stop back in the Catacombs and actually completely clear the Catacombs out. I also want to go and pay a visit to Laurentius to offload some of these souls. Since I've got a whole bunch of them sitting in my pocket, and I don't want to level up with stuff that I had to go out of my way to farm. And lock on, work with me please, thank you. Power and Grace. So how are you doing tonight, Fairy? All right. Let's see, have you updated your dialogue?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you haven't. Alright, Laurentius, I've got some souls for you.
Oh, hello there. I'm pleased to see you safe, as always. If you provide the materials, I can teach you pyromancy.
Alright, so I want to upgrade my pyromancy flame up to plus 10. So that'll be a good way to dump some of these souls. Because as you can see, upgrading the pyro flame is very expensive. Okay. Pyromancy Flame plus 10. We don't need it more powerful than that. So we'll leave that be for now. Thank you.
Goodbye then. Come back if you find anything new.
So as for where a majority of those souls came from, besides killing the leeches, a good portion of them also came from Frampt. Because what I ended up doing was any colored Titanite that was not a white Titanite, I broke down with him into regular Titanite and just sold all of the small Titanite shards. They're all the same price as far as he's concerned, so you get more bang for your buck if you break them down into the smallest units and then sell him all of them. So here's something I actually want to show off. This is the Lost and Found chest. If you lose something that the game considers critical, it'll respawn here in this chest. And what I ended up losing was the Cat Covenant ring I got from Alvina, because that is a critical Covenant item. What makes that unique, I'm only going to show this off the once, so please excuse Framp's nasty voices.
I am pleased. Is it something urgent?
But something you can do is you can actually sell Frampt the Cat Covenant ring for 1,000 souls.
Farewell, chosen.
And because I got rid of a critical item, it will reappear in that chest whenever Firelink gets reloaded. So I'm not going to take advantage of that too much on camera, but if I ever happen to come by Frampt off-screen to sell stuff, I'll probably do so. Alright, so let's head into the catacombs for real this time and actually clear the place out. No? Just gonna sleep? Okay. Meowdy laddie, how's Dark Souls? Hi, Silver. How are you doing? We are going down to the catacombs to actually clear it out. We went down there once before to meet Patches in a missable event, but now we actually have the gear and the reason to go down here. Wisps incoming. Get blasted, nerd. Trying to get the Mask of the Father. Not the Mask of the Father. I actually want a different mask. But we'll see what I get, because unfortunately, at least at this point, I only have a 1 in 3 chance of getting the thing that I actually want down here. Plus, there's all sorts of other treasure and stuff to do, so... you'll find out when we get there. I don't want to spoil the surprise for somebody who might be watching this in the future who somehow may not understand the game, for considering how long it's been out. So I do want to rest at this bonfire, because again, we aren't going to be completely clearing the place out, so that means we're going to be doing a lot of side paths. Played this for way too long. I know most things inside out gameplay-wise. I know a lot of things in this game, but most people don't seem to. I've bamboozled a lot of invaders in quite a few places because I have better map knowledge than they do. Funny thing, the catacombs is actually one of those places. Because apparently not a lot of people, well, in general, a lot of people don't really invade in here. But on the off chance that somebody does, there's lots of little places to hide that apparently most people don't know about. No one likes this place. I've actually been invaded in here, and I got a good chance to troll the invader. I'll explain that when I actually get to the area of where it happened. But, come on. Yeah, sometimes I can bait that guy into flying off the cliff, but, no such luck. But yeah, with plus 10 equipment, we are definitely more than prepared for this area. Ooh, okay, got shot, but that's fine. One of the wisps down below exploded. I'm surprised he's still able to get a beat on me from there. He juked me. You tried to parry me even though I wasn't doing anything. Don't you feel stupid? Here we get the Lucerne. If you can't get your hands on a Gargoyle's Halberd, but you like the Gargoyle's Halberd's moveset, the Lucerne is a good alternative. I don't think the stats are as good, but it has the same moveset, so you'll get the same general effectiveness out of it. I hate when he does that. Sometimes when he's drawing a bead on you and like drawing his bowstring back, sometimes he'll track you, sometimes he won't. Large soul of a nameless soldier. These guys. That's right, down the pit you go. Skeleton, go down the hole. Alright, come on. Well, it was either get spiked or get exploded, and I think I'd prefer get spiked. Oh, I had iframes. Sucks to be you. Ow. Okay, admittedly, that was a pretty dumb maneuver. I should have just walked past him instead of around him, but Also, I do want to apologize for the stream starting a bit late. Star's work has been actively screwing him the past couple of days. If they're not taking away his days off, they're forcing him to work overtime. And Sundays are usually one of my busiest days, like errand-wise. Without going into too many specifics, that's when most of the stuff I have to do to prepare for the next week occurs. And most of those I can't do if Star is not home, because he needs to do them too. And since he doesn't have a driver's license, he kind of needs me to get anywhere. So he didn't get off until almost 5 when he was supposed to get off at 3. So that massively slowed us down. Okay, so time for the first little hidden area. If this is the one I'm thinking of, I want to equip the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. And you may notice there's a little bit of discolored ground right there. Before you step on that, if you have it, cast Fall Control. Alright, you want to be a little careful in here, because there's a lot of these spike traps. And there's a couple of crystal lizards, too. Okay, a double Twinkling Titanite drop, that's not bad. So let's go get this other one back. And I'll go ahead and tell the story of when I got invaded here once. I have only been invaded in this place once. And I technically won due to superior map knowledge. Okay, green titanite shard, I can sell that. But basically what happened was I got invaded while I was crossing that bridge up there. I don't know where invaders spawn down here, but I was like, oh crap, I need to hide. And I happened to be close to here, so I dropped it down into this little area and basically just like hung out, I think, at the top of this ladder. Because I think what my original plan was at the time was to come in here, climb up this ladder, and like ambush them as they followed me. But apparently they didn't know this place existed because they never showed up. They, I guess, were looking all over the catacombs for me for about 15 minutes before they gave up and black crystalled out. But yeah, if you go up there, you'll get deposited right next to this lever. So it's not a huge backtrack. And like I said, a lot of people don't know that place is there. So if you get invaded in the catacombs somehow, y'all came back? Oh, right, because I had to reload. But if you get invaded in the catacombs, that's not a bad hiding spot. Alright, more nasty in here. Again, we don't want to go down. We want to avoid that shaft in the middle. Come on. No, don't kick him, smash him. Okay, you want to be careful approaching this corpse, because that thing's right next to a spike trap. Just inch. There we go, still a little proud knight. Let's head in here. I don't think I triggered this trap when I was in here before. I didn't even intend to do that. That just happened to work out that way. Okay, you got 2 spike traps here. Solo Proud Knight. I'll gladly take that. Now, I believe the Necromancer's down here, and I don't know if there's much else. Well, you go down. I don't want to risk kicking him in case I misdo the input. There we go. Yeah, this is where the Necromancer would be hanging out. If you roll off that bridge up there, whether or not Patches tries to trip it, you can get the Great Scythe up there, and there's also a shortcut further down if you want to take that route, but we're going to be going the on-foot way. So we want to go through here. Now, I do believe, since the Thorland crew have passed through here, Patches should be gone. Yes, he is. He is, in fact, gone. So let's go ahead and push this in. You don't gotta worry about him trying to literally flip us off. Go. Doing good so far, doing good. Now from here we are going to have to worry about more Necromancers. Because this is about as far as we went before. And there's a whole slew of stuff through this fog gate over here. I think that'll be fine. I was about to say, did my stream freeze or crash or something? Because playback's not looking like it should, but no, it's playing, it's playing. Okay, forward progress is through there, but there's a very conspicuous fake wall here. As you can see, there's a skeleton up there shooting at us. Let's get up here before hidden body wears off. Ow. Squash you like a bony bug. I don't think there's anything up here. If there is, it's something minor. Otherwise, it's just like a way out, so that way you can drop back over there. Yep, no corpses, so we're good. Hi, big guy. You can very faintly see the glow in this sarcophagus, the Dark Moon Seance Ring. This ring is granted to adherents of Gwyndolin, Dark Moon Deity, and Lastborn of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight. Grants additional magic attunement slots. The Dark Sun Gwyndolin is the only remaining deity in Anor Londo. His followers are few, but their tasks are of vital importance. So, we don't need an extra attunement slot because we've got all the attunement we could possibly need. But that ring is deceptively important for how minuscule of an effect it has. So fast roll. I want to try walking up here, because if I'm nice and slow, the Necromancer may not aggro on me immediately. Because he's... oh, accidentally went too fast. Oh, and he burned me. Ooh, okay, gotta be... Are you kidding? You're still alive? Okay. This is a bad position. Okay, whew. Take that! Woo! Okay, apparently my stats are not quite enough to two-shot a Necromancer. Ouch. Okay, whew. Oh yeah, I also upgraded my Estus Flask with the Fair Lady off screen. So, yeah, that's where that +3 came from. So I believe if we climb up here, there's an item we can get, and a shortcut we don't want to take. Okay. I want to grab this. Miracle, Tranquil Walk of Peace. That's what those Stone Guardians in Darkroot were casting on us with their swords. There is a shortcut there. It's another one of those fall-away floors. If you take that particular shortcut, what that's going to end up doing is that's going to drop you back near where the first bonfire is. That goes up quite a long ways up. Alright. I don't know what it is with this specific wisp right here, but for whatever reason... Oh, because the Necromancer's not dead, right. I'll take you out then. Yeah, for whatever reason, this particular wisp likes getting stuck. Yeah, we could have avoided this whole little stretch entirely by taking a shortcut that would have dropped us down there, but it's fine. Okay, we got ourselves a Titanite Demon, so I want the Gargoyle's Halberd for this one. Okay, that's his grab animation. You don't want to be in front of him when he does that. Ooh, okay. Whew. Thankfully, I think his catchpole went into the wall there. Nice counter hit. Now you can see what I'm doing with these attacks is I'm feathering my blocks. Because if you have your... Uh-oh. Ooh. Oh, that's because he broke lock on. But if you have your shield up while your stamina is regenerating, it will regenerate a lot slower. Ooh, I got his catchpole. Let's see. Titanite catchpole. Weapon of the Titanite Demon, a faceless stone monster born from Titanite slab. One of the enchanted weapons, perhaps from residual power of the Titanite slab. Known for its leaping attack, which comes smashing down on foes from above. I've never actually used that weapon, so I don't know how good it is. I think, if memory serves, you can use the Titanite Demon's ranged lightning attack with that, but... Anyway, from there we got Eyes of Death. Now, we actually have picked up Eyes of Death before, because we got a couple as a drop from the Basilisks in the Depths. Eye of Death. Online play item. Lure phantoms from other worlds. Only Covenanter can use the item while Hollows cannot. The dreadful Eyes of Death spread disaster across neighboring worlds. Phantoms lured to the host world may end up as victims, allowing the Eyes of Death to multiply, and leading to further proliferation of Bane. So, that's important for a specific covenant, and how you access said covenant is actually in this room. If you don't have any Eyes of Death, you can go to that corpse behind where the Titanite Demon used to be to get some, and with with Eyes of Death in your inventory, you interact with this very conspicuous open coffin. Here it is. The spot to get in's a little tricky. We can nestle in this coffin and just wait. It's a lot like the bird taking you to the asylum. I mean, that's kind of what you get for just randomly nestling inside of an open coffin. Tomb of the Giants. So this is an area we've never been to before, but if you come here, specifically via the sarcophagus there, or the coffin, you can pray to the sarcophagus Gravelord. That's Gravelord Nito. And here you can access the, I believe I don't have a covenant because, yeah, I betrayed the Forest Hunters. So since I don't have a covenant, I can go ahead and join this one. We are now a Gravelord servant, and for joining the covenant, we get a Gravelord sword and the Gravelord sword dance miracle. So the Gravelord sword is the primary reason a lot of people try to get into this covenant as fast as possible. There is a speed running tactic that involves getting this weapon as fast as you can, because as you can see, it has a base damage of 265, which is very, very huge. EE scaling for strength and dex, but something else that's important, which makes this sword noteworthy, it has an innate poison effect on it. It's also a curved greatsword, which there's only like, I think, 3, maybe 4 of them in the game, so it's fairly noteworthy for that reason. Sword wielded only by servants of Gravelord Nito, the first of the dead, crafted from the bones of the fallen. The miasma of death exudes from the sword, a veritable toxin to any living being. but you can only get that from joining the Gravelord's Servants. Now, like the Forest Hunters, the Gravelord's Servants actually have a progression system in place. So if we actually pray to Nito here, you see our first option is Offer Eye of Death. If you want to make progress in the Gravelord's Servant Covenant, you have to offer Eyes of Death to Nito. And you have two ways of getting those. You can, if you are offline, or if you're playing Prepare to Die like me and you care to advance the Covenant, you can farm basilisks for Eyes of Death. There's a few places you can find them. Right now, the only place we have access to where we can find them is the Depths, but there is another place that we can get to that has a proliferation of basilisks. Or, as the item's description for the Eye of Death suggested, if you are playing online and you are a Gravelord Servant in human form, you can use a Eye of Death to infect a few different worlds. This kind of goes into PvP and how the matchmaking works, but long story short, to avoid it getting too complicated, the peer-to-peer systems for Dark Souls kind of act like a web or a network, with each online player's world or instance being a node in that network. And the nodes that your node is immediately adjacent to can more easily interact with you than nodes further away. So how gravelording works is if you are in the Gravelord Servant Covenant and you use an Eye of Death, it will infect, I think, it's between 2 and 3 adjacent nodes, I think, on the network. And what that does is if that node that gets infected, if the host of that world is playing New Game Plus, they get infected with a Gravelord curse. And what that does is it causes random enemies to appear in Black Phantom form. Specifically, it is... Oh, hello. They cause extra enemies to spawn, which are more difficult, more powerful. I think they give more souls as well. But generally speaking, the Black Phantom enemies show up in really bad positions, so getting Gravelorded, as a general rule, is not a fun time. Okay, so I want to be a little quiet going through here. I don't want to run, I want to walk. Be careful going through here, because there are 2 fall-away floors, as you can kind of see right there, the discolored tiles. Under vibes... we've got a bot. I'm just going to go ahead and ban you, because that is definitely... Yeah, you were created, like, either yesterday or today, so... Ban! Okay. Yeah, we want to go through here, but yeah, what happens is when the Gravelord Servant Gravelords somebody, the infected player can find a black glowing, what looks like a summon sign in their world, and that summon sign is more or less where the Gravelord Servant is standing in their world. And if the infected player finds that summon sign, they can then interact with it and invade the Gravelord Servant's world as a blue phantom. If the Gravelord Servant kills that blue phantom, they get an extra Eye of Death. If the blue phantom kills the Gravelord Servant, it purges the Gravelording curse from their world. What the hell? What are you doing here? Weird, okay. I'm guessing that's one of the ones that must have fallen. Oh, now you die in 2 hits. Okay, and that was the last Necromancer. So we got a Skull Lantern from him, because that's a quote-unquote rare drop from them. Okay, and I think that other skeleton, yeah, he's just up there. He's doing his thing. But yeah, effectively, the Gravelord servants are a troll covenant. And as far as their abilities go, or like what they get for upgrading their status with the Covenant, I believe they get access eventually to the Gravelord Greatsword Dance Miracle, and it also powers up both Gravelord Sword Dance and Gravelord Greatsword Dance. Now, I want to be very careful because I think I accidentally aggroed 2 of them. These are the enemies that everyone hates. These are the Pinwheel skeletons. Big thing to note, don't stand in front of them when they do that, and don't let them catch you, even when you're blocking. I can probably survive one of them doing a full-scale assault on me with this shield if I have full stamina, because the Baldur shield's just that stable. But these are probably what a lot of people would consider probably the most bullshit enemies in Dark Souls. Yeah, Pinwheels suck. Amen. They've killed me more than a few times. And their hitboxes can be a little bit disjointed because they can clip you very, very easily. Like, look. Ooh, yeah, see, he rolled past me and did a bunch of damage there. Like, that was probably almost 20% of my health just from that. Imagine if I didn't have my shield up and he pinned me against a wall. Because they can and will do that. And they hit you so frequently and so frequently and so rapidly that getting poise broken is almost an eventuality, or almost an assurance, not an eventuality. Gravelord Miracle's kind of ass. It's one of, I think, 2 miracles, that spouts from the ground. The other being or not miracles, but one of the 2 spells that kind of like focuses on sprouting from the ground. Too long a charge, not really worth it. Yeah. I mean, granted, it also depends on your status in the Covenant. I forget if the Covenant bonus is either it does more damage or it lowers the charge time. I forget what the bonus is exactly. I never actually seriously Gravelorded. I only have ever joined the Covenant for achievement reasons. Let me try... I want to hit that one right there. Further up. Okay, that went over him. So... how did that not tag him? A little further up. Okay. Fine-tuning with a controller is not easy. And nope, that just whizzed past them. Okay. Can I hit one of them? They might just be barely out of range. Thing is, I don't want to get too much closer. I don't want to leave this tunnel. Not that, yeah, I'm too far away. But, not because I'm worried about them. There's actually a guy who drops down behind you if you leave the tunnel too quickly. So... I'm surprised these wisps aren't trying to come after me. That's really weird. Damage. I just end up duplicating Covenant items via Frampt. Too lazy for farming. I mean, if you have 10 Liquid Humanity and the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring, Eyes of Death are not a rare drop per se. And speaking of the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring, I actually want to equip that now. And I also want to get my... where is it? My Uchi! I want to get that equipped too. So I want to use Magic Weapon and Fall Control, because now we're going to be dropping down one of these holes. Hi! This is a Black Knight wielding a Great Axe. You can parry him, but his timing is a little tricky, as you can see. Heal up just in case, because he can probably one-shot me from there. But yeah, if you don't drop down here and deal with him now, when you go further along down that ravine, he'll jump down and come after you. And the last thing you need... oh, he didn't drop anything. The last thing you need when down here is, while dealing with bone wheel skeletons, is to have that guy hounding your ass. So, let's see. Wolf Ring. Oh, and Fall Control just wore off. Okay. So now that he's been dealt with, that's right. They usually aggro a lot sooner than that. Oh! Huh? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I don't know what this guy was doing back here. I know it's not a bone wheel I missed. Must have been one of the guys from up there. Now, one of the things that makes bone wheels kind of suck, as you can see this guy's coming our way, they can see you from pretty far off. There we go. So I want to deal with this guy before his friend gets wise. And looks like I made the right call. Yeah, fighting these guys out in the open is also a pain because they don't stop until they hit a wall. So you're gonna come to me. I ain't going to you. Come on. As you can see, they can also turn pretty quick, too. Now, what's funny is you can actually get their bone wheels. That all of them? I think that's all of them, Chief. Alright. So, now that we've cleared these guys out, there's actually a couple of things I want to do. If you head over, I believe it's over here. Yeah, there's a little niche here. That sounds like a hammer on anvil. So there's some kind of room behind that wall where somebody's working a smithy. So we're going to be doing a little bit of backtracking. I will deal with that after we deal with the boss of this area, because we are actually on the boss's doorstep. But I do want to backtrack to not only get access to a summon sign, I also want to pick up an item that you can only reach by going this particular route. So we need to head back up here. I don't know where that extra skeleton went. He's probably around somewhere. Oh, there he is. Man, it took you this long to get this far? You are slow. Ah, you know what? This must have been one of the skeletons that the wisps knocked off. Oh well. Not a problem anymore. So, standing here, if you look down... Oh, I think one of the bone wheels actually did drop something. Huh, fancy that. Okay, but if you look down from here... You can see there's a summon sign and a corpse. Come on, Wisp, I know you can see me. Large soul of a nameless soldier. Paladin Leroy. This dude's kind of out of the way. Okay, now you want to be careful trying to get this item, because it's very easy to miss. Oh, okay. So you see how it kind of pushed me forward a little bit when I came down? It's very easy for it to push you too far. You land on the corpse and then just slide off. So Paladin Leroy here is here to help with the boss. Not that you really need the help, but as you'll notice, he's got a weird-looking effect on him with some orange mist. That is an effect of his shield. He is regenerating HP very slowly. So, for this boss, I want the Grass Crest shield and the Gargoyle's Halberd, because I'll be going for a two-handed approach. I want the Darkwood Grain Ring for evasion, and that should be good. Now, I just summoned Leroy just to show him off. I think he shows up later whether you summon him here or not. So he's not required for anything, but I figured I'd at least show him off and also show off that treasure. So let's go through here. So now you see something that looks like a giant coffin lid. Something that's very important. Cast fall control before getting any closer to that. So let's see. Let's get magic weapon going. Hi, Pinwheel! Ooh. Bye, Pinwheel! So, that was Pinwheel. Pinwheel's considered the butt monkey of Dark Souls. He is the easiest boss in the game. And this is actually kind of the point where the game almost expects you to fight him. Based on his stats, he's even more of a joke if you come here when most people come here. So, by killing him, you get the Rite of Kindling, which is what the Thurlin crew were looking for. What this does is this lets us upgrade bonfires to levels 4 and 5, I think. Because you can upgrade them to level 3 normally. Wait, no. It's stage 0 is unlit, 1 is lit, level 2... No, this lets us get 3 and 4, which are the second most powerful and most powerful. Which will give us more Estus. Now, the reason I came down here was not for the Rite of Kindling, it was for this. Now, I have a 30% chance of, or roughly 30%, it's like 33.3, I think, to get the one that I want. So what did we get? Yes, I got it. Okay. So this thing right here is the reason I didn't bother upgrading my Wanderer Hood or Dingy Hood past +6. Mask of the Child. One of the 3 masks of the Pinwheel, the necromancer who stole the power of the Gravelord and reigns over the catacombs. This mask, belonging to the naive child, slightly raises stamina recovery speed. So basically what this is that acts like the Grasscrest Shield or the Chloranthy Ring. Only it goes on your head. So, as you can see, look at my stamina gauge with both the shield and the mask. It goes up pretty quick. And if I equip the Chloranthy Ring on top of that, it goes up even faster. There is diminishing returns on that, of course, but that is the main thing I came down here for. I will probably be wearing that for the remainder of the game, unless the situation at hand calls for me to do otherwise. Let's see. I shouldn't need to fight anything else, so I'll keep the Reinforced Club on me just in case. Yeah, get used to this pretty face, because you'll be seeing it for the rest of the run. So, the other 2 masks that you could have gotten are, you could have gotten the Mask of the Mother, which gives you a very slight HP gain, or you could have gotten the Mask of the Father. The Mask of the Father is usually the one that most people want, because what that does is it increases your equipment load. As you have no doubt noticed by the fact that I'm wearing Havel's Ring, increasing equip load is a very, very nice effect. And anybody who is familiar with even a modicum of PvP in this game knows about the infamous Giant Dad meme loadout, which requires the Mask of the Father. So that's what most people associate it with, anyway. Me, I prefer the Mask of the Child, because it helps me maintain a better stamina economy. And while the defenses aren't the best, I mean, come endgame, you know, my other armor will be enough to protect me from stray hits, and if I'm not getting hit in the first place, defense isn't really going to matter. So I like having the extra stamina. It helps out a lot. But as far as Pinwheel himself goes, his whole thing is that he's more dangerous the longer you let him live. He fills a boss archetype that is pretty common in FromSoft RPGs, specifically the very weak magic caster who mainly tries to deceive you with doppelgangers of themselves. And as you see, he did manage to do that, and as far as damage goes, the doppelgangers are every bit as offensively powerful as the original, but they just have less HP. Now, unlike other bosses in the series that use that same gimmick, namely the Crystal Sage, there really is no easy way to tell the fake Pinwheels from the real one. You just kind of have to remember which is which and try and kill him before he gets away. Oh, hi! Bye! Here. Now, I actually want to make some slight adjustments at this bonfire specifically. Let's see, 2 magic. I don't want hidden body, I want cast light. Now, as you noticed, the area past Pinwheel was very, very dark. That is not where I'm going. Even though cast light is very, very helpful there, we have no reason to go in there yet. So we will probably be going there later. I want cast light for in here, and there is a fairly good chance that I'm going to bite it attempting to do this. First things first, let's get rid of all of these guys. Hi. Bye. Oh, he's still alive down there. Lovely. Okay, so I want to cast light here. Alright. I always mess this up, because even with fall control, this can be fatal. So, if I'm not mistaken, I want to roll kind of between them. I don't want to roll directly at that little lump, because you'll hit the bump, and you'll miss. Woo! Okay. So then we want to roll off here. Get this. Green Titanite Shard. Let's take out this idiot. And then fall through here.
Gone with you. You'll spoil my focus.
And you're the blacksmith we heard on the other side of the wall.
What's that then? Need some smithing? Then produce me some wares.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen that black screen effect happen when I'm talking to an NPC. Huh. So let's talk to him. He offers the same services that Andre does, but his ascensions are different. But let's talk to him first.
I'm here to smith, not to chit-chat. I've told you, I'm here for the trade, not for the talk. Enough with your presence. It disturbs me. Well, you are a persistent one, are you not? But I'm afraid I'm a mere blacksmith. It's just me and my trade. I would be of no help to a righteous warrior such as yourself. I've told you I have nothing to discuss. If I have anything to offer, it's my smithing, and nothing more. I'd be of more help with that ember from New Londo, of course. It's a shame the whole place was flooded.
Now, funnily enough, the ember he's talking about is actually not for him. I think that was a holdover from an earlier point in the game where you maybe were supposed to give it to him. or maybe it was a different ember entirely and then they got swapped, but he does have more info.
I've told you I have nothing to discuss. If I have anything to offer, it's my smithing and nothing more. Speaking honestly, I must say that I'm at my very limit. There's no more work to be done. Unless I have the flame of that legendary witch. But that will require a visit to Lost Izalith. Impossible.
Yeah, we can't go to Lost Izalith yet.
I've told you, if I have any speaking on but that...
Okay. So, unlike the Ember from New Londo, he actually can use the Lost Izalith Ember. But that's about all the info we're going to be getting out of him. So he tells you where a couple of embers are, or at least where to look. So, as far as his stock, he sells Homeward Bones in case you need to get out of here. Titanite Shards if you want to come all the way here to buy them instead of just going to Andre. I think, yeah, he's just got the standard kind of ammunition. And now for his equipment, you'll notice he doesn't do Divine or Standard. You can't really tell because I don't have a weapon eligible in here, but that's Fire. He can upgrade your weapons down the Fire path. And what that does is it removes all stat scaling from the weapon and splits the damage in half physical, half fire, if you want to do that. But, okay, yeah, he's here.
What was that about? Don't be coming around here without a good reason.
Yeah, that's, I don't think he mentioned his name, but that's Vamos. He's one of the 4 blacksmiths in the game. He is the one that the least number of people use unless they're doing PvP and want a very specific weapon. I'm looking at you, Giant Dad. But anyway, this guy's kind of a pain to get to and prepare to die because you either have to drop through that hole, which the cutscene will only save you the first time. Any subsequent trips down that way, you actually have to be careful not to die on the way down. Or you have to bypass all the wheel skeletons and go through that hole in the wall that he made, which is also very dangerous because you have to go through 90% of the catacombs to do it. Now, I can't confirm this because I haven't gotten this far in Remastered, but supposedly, somewhere in this room, there is actually a bonfire down here. As for why they put a bonfire down here, I will go more into that later, probably not even in this episode. But that's all of our business in the catacombs, so let's head back to the bonfire and leave. Let's make some adjustments to magic. I don't need cast light anymore. We shall go with hidden body. So now we have to head back once again to Firelink Shrine. It would probably be faster to go this way. So, yeah, let's go in this direction. Come on. Get out of your parry stance and actually try to attack me. Oh, and you don't drop through the ceiling on subsequent visits. You just are there. Okay. Gotta watch out for that stomp. That stomp can do some damage. Through here. Now, the Necromancer's gone, so it won't be as dangerous coming up this way. So now we can take this shortcut. Okay, that wasn't as big as I remember it being, but that's fine. Hidden body would have perhaps been a better choice. Idiot. Ow. Down you go. I think the other guy might be behind a rock. I don't see him. Unless he's the one further up. No, I don't see anybody. Yeah, he must be behind the doorway because I don't see him. Either that or he rolled off already. Oh no, you blended in real well. But yeah, no more necromancers, so no more resurrecting for y'all. It's just still better to use a divine weapon anyway because of the damage creature type modifier. Let's time that pretty badly. Lucky he missed. I'll go ahead and rest here. You never know. Something bad might happen. It'll respawn those guys, but those are a minor speed bump. At worst. Nope. Man, I'm out of practice. Yay, more junk to feed to the giant mustachioed snake. Fallen to pieces as I managed to just barely clip him in the ankle. Could just barely see him. That one was technically a partial parry, but I'll take it. Okay. We've cleared the catacombs, we got our mask, we're doing really good. that's a lot of junk. Any more? We good? Alright. Back to our standard weapon. Now that we'll actually get a chance to use it. Now, I actually do have stuff I do want to sell to Frampt, but I don't want to subject you guys to his noises, so I will probably do that off screen. Sup, Petrus?
Oh, I'm so...
Nope. Okay. I guess you actually have to hit a specific trigger for him to go any further with that train of thought, but let me check. Do I want to go see Snuggly right now? I could. I know Snuggly's interested in the Skull Lantern, but I don't necessarily need what she has to offer in trade at the moment. I don't think I need anything else on offer either, so no, I think we're good. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix our stuff then. Normally I'd save inventory organization for between episodes, but I do want to go ahead and get rid of all the stuff that I know I'm not going to use. I do want to keep the full gold hem black set specifically for poison resistance. Let's see. Monk set or priest set or whatever. I think that's the standard. Yeah, I think that's the holy set. I think is what that's called. Let's see. We got the Mask of a Child. We do want to hang on to the Dark Moon Seance Ring. We actually do have a use for that later on down the line. And everything else should be good. Let's get rid of all these weapons for now. Grave Lord Sword. The Mace. The Lucerne, the Catch Pole, Short Bow. Keep the Skull Lantern away. Well, we'll put it away for now, but we do want to trade it eventually. That should be everything else. Alright, I think we're good then. Do I have any poppables, or do I want to save those? I could go ahead and pop them now. Probably wouldn't hurt too bad. So, I think I'll save those for after Sen's Fortress. So, let's go ahead and level up a little bit before we head in. I want to at least get Endurance to 24. How many more can I get? Just a couple? I think getting Endurance to 24 is a good place to be for Sen's Fortress. We don't want to have too many souls spent. Besides, we'll be getting a large amount of level ups once we actually finish Sen's Fortress, because we will be going through the entire thing today. So let's see if I can do a little bit better here than I did last time. My Find that pressure plate. Over here. Ha ha ha! Die, Snake Man! Alright. First on the loot list. Soul of Brave Warrior. I will take it. Alright. So like before, we want to snipe that snake woman up there. She dead? Yep, there we go. You want to be really careful. These particular pendulums aren't fatal if you have fall control. But still, don't want to get hit by them, they hurt. And I don't want this guy coming to bite me in the tail later, so I'll just go ahead and kill him here. Notice all those snake women down there. We will be back for them later. They are not of any interest to us right now. Because right now, we have other things to worry about. That. We won't worry about that snake man. He's not an issue. We'll wait for the boulders. I can hear them coming. Are they coming? Huh. Oh. Weird. They usually... So, usually what happens there is the, you can hear that gear grinding that's actually throwing the boulders down now. Usually what ends up happening is that happens earlier on. Get squished. Usually that happens earlier on, not when you're already past the thing. So, let's see. Okay, we already got the covetous... Not the covetous. We already got the steel ring of steel protection, so we don't got to worry about that. Come on, Snake Boy. You know you want me. Come here. Man, these guys are way easier than their cousins in Dark Souls 3. Or rather, I guess their descendants. I need you right here. Come on. Into the passageway. Two out of 3 ain't bad. Alright, time for a run. As you can see, the pit's still filled and the hole is still open. Not that we need to go over there. Mimic is dead, so from here we can continue. That's a bottomless pit. Don't fall in there. And notice the very conspicuous blood spatter on this elevator. You want to get off here, because if you look up, there's spikes up there. Those spikes won't kill you, but they will hurt very, very badly. And through there is just a locked door, so we don't got to worry too much about that. However, if we go up here, hey, it's that boulder mechanism. We can use this to change the directions of the boulders. Now, there's like an invisible NPC in here that you can't kill that turns all of the, turns the mechanisms back whenever you reach those certain triggers. But for now, we just want to wait to get a little bit of souls, because the boulder is currently running over that guy who was sleeping on the job. Talk about a rude awakening. And now we want that to go that way, because we have business down here. Now that the wall is open, oh, down goes the party body. There's an NPC there, but we can talk to him in a minute. Use our master key to open this. Soul of a hero. Okay, and what about you? You have the looks of a spellcaster.
You seem quite lucid. A rare thing in these times. I am Logan. I'm a bit cooped up, as you can see. I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is melting my mind. The inactivity is repressive.
Sure, we can let you out. Master key.
Oh, heavens. Thank you. I'm saved. And I'd love to resume my travels. But I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor. I will return to Farling Shrine. Speak with me there, so that I may impart my sorcery.
Will do. And thank you, Silver. I appreciate the compliment.
Oh, hello. Don't mind me. Go on ahead. I'll be along later. Whoa, I'll be just fine, young one.
If you say so. Now, we can talk to him at Firelink. There's really not much of a reason to, for me at least. Logan is kind of the guy you want to talk to if you're going more of the pure caster route. He teaches more of the powerful, like, ranged attack spells. He doesn't sell any buffs or anything. So I don't need any of the things that he's offering. At least not right away. His stock actually... Oh, that might cost me. His stock actually does get upgraded over time if you complete his... or work towards his side quest. Oh, okay. But, as you progress through Logan's side quest, his stock actually will update to include some buffs, but my intelligence is not going to be getting high enough in this playthrough in order to take advantage of really any of the spells he has on offer. So I'll probably talk to him just to, you know, talk with him and check in, but I'm not going to be actually purchasing anything from him. We're not done with this thing yet. There are 4 ways out of this room, and so far we've investigated 2 of them, so let's go this way. Hope you like using fall control, because I'll be casting it a lot in here. Let's see, there's the snake lady. Alright, so is it this way I want to go first? Yes. So in here, the Black Sorcerer set and the Hush Sorcery. Hush makes it to where your footsteps don't make any noise. And then we can open that, and that gives us a shortcut back out here. So, something to note is the Black Sorcery set is what Griggs of Vinheim wears. I believe the item description straight out calls it a spy uniform, I think. Cloak worn by the secret sorcerers at Vinheim Dragon School. They secretly work with sound-based spells and never reveal themselves. So yeah, basically magical spies. So now we get to drop out here on top of another dude. Let's see if we can give him a splitting headache. Yeah, okay. I'll accept that attempted bite. That was a bit of a stretch. You don't want to fall down there. That is not a fall you can survive. However, we do want to grab this. The Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring. This ring was secretly worn by a certain surreptitious sorcerer at Vimheim Dragon School. The ring is engraved with an everlasting dragon in silent slumber and masks all sound emitting from its wearer. Was that a stretch bit? Also a joke? Because they got a smile from me. Aw, I appreciate that. If it was a joke, I didn't intend it that way. Okay. So next... I think I'll stick with the wolf ring. Oh, I need to change my shield. That's what I need to do. I'm going to need to equip my crest shield, because now we're going to go deal with those snake ladies down there. Okay. Now, if I play my cards right, I can eliminate this one. You want to be careful when doing that, because sometimes this one right here can shoot you out of the air while you're attempting a plunge. And if you get hit while doing that, you'll just kind of flail helplessly until you hit the ground. Okay, got a bleed proc on her. That is usually a lot more messy. And speaking of messy, we get to go down into this little muck pit down here. Let me check something. Stability 70. Yeah, that would be the better option. Chloranthy ring. Actually, no, we can't wear the Chloranthy ring because we're going to need the Rusted Iron ring down here. I don't think that's enough to hurt. No, it's not. Okay, so I'm guessing this stuff down here is tar or something. Because if you don't have the Rusted Iron ring, it slows you down. And this is probably one of the more dangerous areas in Sen's Fortress, at least on the bottom level. Because this whole area down here is infested with Titanite demons. There's 4 of them down here. And I want to kill all of them. Because that is a huge amount of demon Titanite that I am not willing to pass up. They're guarding other loot too, but the main thing I'm interested in is their demon Titanite drop. Now, something you want to be aware of with the Titanite demons down here is that 2 of them are stronger than the others. The one I'm fighting here is one of the weaker ones. You can actually see by how much damage I'm doing. I'm actually doing a noticeable amount on its health bar there. Alright, we got a scythe, which is, I think, actually not a scythe. I'm pretty sure that's actually a bardiche. Which, much like the Lucerne, is a, it's a halberd-type weapon that uses the Gargoyle Halberd moveset. Don't the Titanite demons get stronger for each one you kill? I don't think it's that. I know that these 2 on this side of it, because there's a little tunnel over there that leads to a deeper section. This is underneath the first little walkway that we went through when we first came in. If you go through there, that takes you to the underneath the walkway where Big Hat Logan is. I know the 2 Titanite demons in there are the stronger of the 2. Oh, okay, he got me with his hand. That's fine. We want to be really careful because healing resources are limited. You may also notice that I'm trying to conserve my... Oh, don't lag on me, please. What are you doing? I imagine it might be my antivirus trying to run in the background. But, you'll notice I'm not using weapon buffs or anything on these guys. I want to save those for the guys in the next room. Okay, Demon Titanite, not bad. So I want to top off because the guys in the next room hurt. I'm pretty sure their jump attack could probably one-shot me from full HP, but just in case. Okay, so something big to note. Let me see, how many of these do I have? Good, I have all 3 of them. So I want to use Magic Weapon and Hidden Body in here. Hidden Body is of paramount importance because you see, there's nothing separating these two, and their sight lines are pretty large. If you're busy fighting the one up front, the one in the back will see you and start sniping you. Now, the unfortunate reality of the situation... Oh! Yeah, the unfortunate reality of the situation is these guys hit really hard, they have a lot of HP, and they take forever to kill. So, I am not going to be able to kill this guy before I lose all of my hidden body charges. You can see how little damage I'm doing with a weapon buff. Oh, okay. I am getting really careless here because I'm being too aggressive. I actually might have to resort to using humanity here. Because, like, it is incredibly important that you kill this one in particular really, really quick. And if I can keep him kind of, like, back here, that's fine. Because as long as he's back against the wall, the other guy won't snipe. It's only if you go past, like, the doorway that he'll actually start attacking you. As long as this guy stays back here, this should be okay. Very heavy hit there, but okay. Now you're too far away. Okay. I want to try and keep him back here. He's going to do the grab. Oh yeah, I never finished my thought on feathering guards. Because your stamina regenerates slower while you have your shield raised, it's better when fighting bigger enemies like these to only guard when you see the attack actually coming and let off as soon as it hits. Oh, he squished me. Because that way it gives your stamina a chance to recharge and will let you block more hits than you normally would be able to. I need you... Oh, he's going to go for the snipe round, is he? So are you just going to continually try and shoot me? Yes, you are. So, hey, guess what? 2 can play... Uh-oh. You cheeky little prick. I was about to go sniper duel on your tail, and then you decide, nah. I got sniped in a bunch trying to get these 2. Yeah, that guy was being a bit of a dick, but hey, at least I didn't get sniped this time. I actually don't care if this guy sees me, so... We've killed his buddy. Now that it's just him, this isn't going to be nearly as bad. We still want to be careful, but we have this entire area to fight in, and he doesn't have any backup, so this won't be as bad. Now, the reason I'm using the Gargoyle's Halberd for these guys instead of the Uchigatana is because the Uchigatana does slash damage, which is not very good against enemies made of stone. These guys are also immune to bleed because, again, they're made of stone. All right, I want to wait for him to do the grab before trying to cast Magic Weapon again. Thank you. Come on, get away from the wall. I believe, technically speaking, the Gargoyle's Halberd does thrust damage, but combined with its, just in general, greater attack power, and the fact that this is a quality build weapon instead of more strictly a dex one, I'm getting more bonus damage overall using it. So it's better for bigger stuff like this. Though, in terms of burst DPS, assuming the enemy can bleed, the Uchigatana is better. There we go. I dare say that's probably the smoothest that has ever gone. Usually I'm out my Estus and maybe 1 or 2 Humanity doing that. So, very, very smooth. I like it. And being unique enemies, those Titanite demons will not respawn. So that takes care of them. There is one more secret here before we head further into the fortress. Marshal of a Proud Knight. Now we could drop down here and go back through all that, or you may notice this thing here. You specifically have to kick that wall. I usually kick them in general anyway, but for the most part, a lot of hidden walls can be rolled through. For whatever reason, that one specifically, you have to kick, or otherwise attack it. Time to meet a big friend, indeed. Say hello to the giant that opened the gate. There are 3 of these guys in here, actually. There's this guy guarding the gate. There's one throwing those boulders down that's causing us all kinds of trouble. And there's one up on the roof. These guys are very easy. They're slow and they hit hard, but they're easy to outpace. And, fortunately for us, they are susceptible to bleed. 3,000 souls for that one, and a guaranteed Titanite chunk. Now, of the 3 giants that live here, 2 of them will not respawn when they die. That is one of them, so you can't just come in here and farm him for a guaranteed Titanite chunk. Nice as that would be, but our business with him is concluded. I think that's enough to take fall damage. Yeah, I've got enough fall control charges. I can afford one for that. Oh, no, I guess I was wrong. Okay. Alright, well, better safe than sorry, especially when healing is running a bit low. Whew. Okay. So now I get to go all the way back to the boulder room. Imagine trying to navigate that with some wizard sniping you. Let's see, yeah, no, not going to be able to go that way, so back up this gauntlet. I want to wait for this one. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to make that, so I was a bit too slow on getting the fall control going. Normally what I can do with that is I can run up a little bit and jump onto the platform where the snake lady was, but no, not this time. It was a bit too slow. But that's okay. Because now we can just go through here, and we actually have another prize to claim, as I apparently forgot to loot the corpse that was next to her. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Launch the Proud Knight. Can't believe I missed that, but oh well. Alright. We need to go this way next. Alright, and we are done with the boulder trap. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Too obvious. Okay, this is the part I don't like. This is probably the most precarious of the pendulum gauntlets because you have 4 blades all swinging in close proximity to each other. You have to make this in one go. If you can't, if you are too slow, you will get nicked, you will get knocked off, and unless you are incredibly lucky, you will die from the fall. I don't know exactly where it is, but I know at one of the later ones, I think, if it hits you, there's a very slim chance you'll fall onto a bridge below and just barely survive it if your health's high enough, but generally at this point, if you get hit and you fall off, you are going to die. So let's see if I can make it across. Now, there's another kind of danger here in that there's a bunch of snake people on the other side of here too waiting to ambush you. And unfortunately, they're all inside that enclosed space behind cover, so I can't snipe them to lure them out. One of them is immediately to the right once we cross. So let's see. I kind of want to watch. Because some of them are not in the best synchronization. Okay, whew, we made it. Okay, so we have to be quick. We have to be really quick. Oh, don't bite me, you asshole. I actually might die here, because this guy is being very uncooperative. Oh, sure, do your parrying attack now. Sure. Okay, we got really lucky there. Whew. Okay, so normally what happens is that snake lady up there also happens to see you run by and then decides she wants to either shoot you or stab you in the back while you're busy with this guy. I got really lucky. I know for a fact if you try going for her first, this guy will come after you and sandwich you. So let's go deal with her. Oh, you know what? It would probably help if I didn't have the rusted iron ring on. That would probably help a lot. Okay, that's probably the biggest anxiety-inducing part over. You're stupid. Alder shield. And there's another snake guy down here. Can't parry the bites. You're stupid. Die! Okay, we still have a ways to go before the next bonfire. So, we only have one Estus. Let's see if we can make it last. Whew. These large Titanite shards are probably going to be sold. Normally what I do is I tend to run through this part first before doing the whole farm the leeches thing, but doing things the way I have to for the stream kind of changed how that worked. Okay, so there is one more snake woman right here around this corner. If I can, I want to try and snipe her to death. Uh-oh. Okay, there's a stopper. Okay, I got her. Normally she's a lot faster than that, but this is the final little section here with the pendulums. Trying to do this on a really narrow walkway while she's sniping you is not fun. So, let's see. And of course the pendulums are also not in sync, so I need to see if I can get a good timing. That's probably as good as I'm gonna get. Ooh. That's tight, that's tight. Ooh. Anxiety! Woo! Okay, you can walk around those. I don't think there's any items over here. No, I think that's mainly just so you can kill her. But, okay. That is the last of the pendulums. We never have to mess with those again. Phew, okay. We're not out of the real danger zone yet, but we're out of the worst of it. The top of Sen's fortress is nowhere near as dangerous as the inside. And hey, it's our friends, the Balder Knights. How are you guys doing? I've been taking good care of this shield y'all gave me. She is a beauty. What do we got here? Flame stone plate ring. Stone plates, the symbol of a true knight, grant the strength to face various hardships. The red stone plate symbolizes fire and boosts defense against flame. Let's see, that gives us 50 flame defense, which it helps, but you have to stack it with so many things for it to be actually effective that it's really not worth using on its own. I will probably just sell it, but it's there. It's loot. Okay, so you want to be careful. Once you go up here, once you start up this staircase, run and don't stop. Notice those black marks. Yeah, there's a giant up there lobbing huge freaking fire bombs. Now, he should be lobbing it there next. I want to drop down here quickly. Whew, okay. Bonfire. The only bonfire in Sen's fortress, and it's past all the hard stuff. Whew. Alright, now that we've got our Estus back, we're fully healed, we've got all our spells, we are doing excellent. So, over there, you can see the guy dropping the boulders down. You can kill him if you want, but he's the one giant that comes back, so there's really no reason to kill him. Now, unfortunately, I think the guy up top that's throwing the giant fire bombs, I think he's programmed to take where, like, you're standing into account. He doesn't actually have to see you, so I don't think hidden body would help. But basically, just keep moving, don't stop, you can get through just fine. This guy's funny! Because you'd think, long narrow hallway, there's a dude down here. Why would he be down here? Is he guarding something? There must be a secret wall right here. Nope, nothing. That guy is a red herring meant to troll you. He's just there. He's not even close enough to you, like if you just come through here and go this way, he's not even close enough to aggro onto you and follow you. He's just there. So my first order of business before I do anything else up here is I want to get to the top of this tower and take out the guy throwing firebombs. Because he doesn't come back. Once he's dead, this whole area up here becomes a lot more easy to navigate. here's the big ugly himself. Now, be very careful up here if you're using a fire elemental weapon. Those are giant fire bombs that he's attacking there, and you can even roll into them to break them. But if you hit them with a fire attack, they will explode. And they will chain reaction because there's so many of them close together. Uh-oh. Oh! Okay, this might kill me, actually. Oh, I got lucky. That rampage attack of theirs does a lot of damage, and I was right in the middle of that when he knocked me down. Woo! Okay, so our reasons for killing him were actually twofold. Because not only does that stop him from throwing the fire bombs literally everywhere, you can't see it from here, but that's, well, you can see him. That's our boss over there. If you don't kill the giant up top, he'll throw fire bombs into the boss arena to help the boss out. So we don't want him doing that. Okay, this guy's probably going to hit pretty hard, so let's go ahead and get Estus in us. And fight another Baronite Knight. Remember these? I think we saw one of these in the Undead Parish. They are susceptible to bleed if he would ever get out from behind his shield. Oof. Now what's down here? What's down here is a unique NPC. Note that this guy's hostile. This is Undead Prince Rickard. He's being very stupid. Dude, you cannot aim. Aim a little lower. You're going over my head. What is this? Normally he goes into melee by now. But, this actually is a bit of a conundrum. No, he's content to just shoot at me and try to roll away. There we go. Now he's using his sword. There we go. He's a lot easier to do that to when he has his sword out. He telegraphs that double stab of his really heavily because he holds the sword vertically in front of him. If you can't parry that, though, and he actually hits you with it, it hurts, because he hits you like 3 or 4 times with that if it connects. But that was Undead Prince Rickard. He drops Rickard's Rapier, which if you're using a weapon buff build is actually really powerful due to how weapon buffs actually work. One of the reasons why standard weapons upgraded with a weapon buff, or standard upgraded weapons with a weapon buff applied are so powerful, is you get the standard weapon stats, which is the base stats and the scaling, and then you get a buff effect that either scales off your stats or is a flat amount of damage depending on how you apply it. And how that works is the buff damage gets applied to every hit that you land. What's special about Rickard's Rapier is that it has a special attack, which is I think it's the large attack, one-handed or two-handed. You do a rapid flurry of stabs, and the more you press the large attack key, the more damage it'll do. Okay, I want to use fall control here just in case I miss. I think if I miss the jump from this side, I can safely land down below. But with Rickard's Rapier, if you do a weapon buff build with that, whoa, okay. All of those rapid fire hits will add the bonus buff damage for every hit that it does, so you'll do a ton of damage with that. Let's actually look at Rickard's Rapier, because he was wearing Elite Knight armor, which, as we know, is armor of Astora. A rapier with intricate decorations. Chosen weapon of the infamous undead Prince Rickard. Rickard's exploits are told in a monomyth. For those of you who don't know what a monomyth is also known as the hero's journey. He was born into royalty, but wandered the lands in a fated, ill-conceived journey. He became undead and disappeared up north. And we seem to be doing a bit of a leg dance, so let's get off of that and talk to this big fellow. Are we done doing a dance? Okay, we're done dancing.
What? Who are you? Another undead, eh? I took on a sense fortress alone, but I'm no different from those vile creatures. I was driven by conceit. You think you're different? That you can handle it? Yes, I remember that feeling. For I was the same. So, let me help you out, with your soul searching. There's nothing more to say. I'm finished. We're both on the brink, you see. End of story. You bloody fool.
So this is the Crestfallen Merchant. He just kind of hangs out around here, and as you can see by his armor, he's supposedly a Knight of Baronike. He sells black fire bombs and green blossoms if you want to purchase those. He's one of, if not the only merchant who sells large Titanite shards, but they're very expensive. As you can see, even his regular Titanite shards are upcharged from what everybody else who sells them charges for them. You can also buy green shards from him, but again, way too overpriced. The leeches are just better. Let's see, you can get a great sword, which, if I'm not mistaken, we can actually find one of those for free. A great axe, we actually did find one of those for free. You can get a Baldur's shield here if you like. And you can get a tower shield, which is one of the, just the shield of the Baronike Knights. Okay, so this is the first merchant, I believe, that can sell feather arrows. I don't believe I buy feather arrows from him. I buy them from somebody else, I'm pretty sure. But we won't be needing to buy feather arrows for a while. We've still got plenty of standard ammunition. Let's see, we also have the Katarina armor, the steel set, which is the Baronike set, and you can buy the full Baldur set here, too. He also sells the Spell and Thunderstone plate rings. So in general, he's got some interesting equipment. Not all of it's unique, but...
Nothing at all? Fine then. Rush in like a naked babe and be skinned alive.
Now, can I do a thing here? Can I be cheeky? Because you may notice there is a snake woman down there. Can my reticle aim that far? No, it can't. Not from here. So... maybe from here? No, I cannot free aim that far. So yeah, I'm going to have to go down and actually fight her myself. At the bottom of this huge tower. So, big tip, hug the wall. Show the wall you care, and the wall will keep you alive. Because that is a very long vertical drop. That is not a vertical drop you want to be making, because you will get flattened like a pancake if you hit the floor. Excuse me. I need to take a drink. My throat's getting kind of dry. Excuse me for a second. Oh yeah, that's better. That's much better. Woo! Alright. I specifically remember this snake woman because I remember one time when I was coming through Sen's Fortress, I got Gravelorded in here. This is probably one of the worst places to get Gravelorded because it adds more snake people basically everywhere. And this particular snake woman was guarded by... two Black Phantom snake people with the great swords. And they aggroed me basically the second I got to the bottom of the stairs. And they fought me on the stairs and won because I misstepped and fell off and died from the fall. So, yeah, that was my personal experience with Gravelording, and I didn't like it. Okay, so from here, or at least being Gravelorded, actually being a Gravelord can be funny if you know what you're doing. Okay, so I can fall control to get that. Yoink! Idiot. So make sure your friend doesn't follow me up here. But that should be it for Sen's Fortress. Or at least that should be everything around here for, like, treasure and stuff. Now let's take a look at that key we just picked up. The cage key. Key to the hanging cage in Sen's Fortress. If a hapless adventurer becomes fatigued during an imprudent attempt to overcome the fortress, the Serpent Men will not kill him, but lock him up in a lonely cage. Eventually, unless they have forgotten, they drag the victim off to who knows where. So this key actually has two uses. If you don't have the master key, you need that key to get Logan out of his cell. However, regardless of whether or not you have the master key, if you go along this way, you can open up these cages here. I am embarrassed at how long it took me to realize that these are what they are. If I'm not mistaken, we want to open the one on the left. Because this... these cages are a shortcut elevator. And they take you all the way back down to the entrance. I don't think I figured that out until like my 4th or 5th playthrough. Oh man. Like seriously, I'm pretty sure it was like 4 or 5 playthroughs in that I realized that those were elevators, and I was kicking myself when I learned that. I'm like, man, I could have made all of those backtracking trips to and from Firelink easier had I just gotten in the damn cage instead of having to trek all the way through the entire trap gauntlet every time I wanted to pass through this place. So, okay, we have another boss. This boss can either be piss easy, or this boss can be very annoying. It depends on how it goes, really, because sometimes he can just one-shot you because he will not hesitate to pick you up and throw you off the arena. So, I want to go for a two-handed setup with this one. I want the Darkwood Grain Ring for evasion. Oh, there we go. And I want to summon this guy, the Chuck Norris of Dark Souls. Iron Tarkus, better known as Black Iron Tarkus, so named for his black iron armor. He is famed in universe for being the only undead to successfully bypass the boss here and make it to Anor Londo. He is a Knight of Baranike, I believe, and he was the only Knight of Baranike to make it through. He's famed out of universe for being able to solo his boss. Paladin Leroy can do that too, but the two things that are going against Paladin Leroy is A, Pinwheel's a chump, and B, Paladin Leroy is out of the way. You can get to Tarkus real easy. You're supposed to be able to find him. But if I wanted to, Tarkus could solo this fight. I'm not going to let him, but he could definitely do it. The Iron Golem. Now, okay, good. If you position yourself right, he will waste his initial attack hitting the scenery. So this is a boss that you don't want to lock onto. You want to stay close, get between his legs, and try and hit him in the ankles if you can. Now, when he's close to the ledge like that, watch out. Oh, he might actually just straight up kill Tarkus here. Okay, good, he didn't. Woo! Yeah, you want to be very careful when he's at a ledge like that, because whenever he does his grab... Okay, he's wobbling. We want to hit him in the leg that's wobbling, which I think is this one. Now, if I do this right... There we go. Are you going to fall off? No, he didn't. If you do that right, you can actually knock him off. But... There we go. Core of an Iron Golem, and a Humanity. Yeah, most of the time when you die to this guy, it's because he knocks you off the arena. His attacks hurt, but the arena's really small, so it's very easy to get knocked off here. And for defeating him, we get this Ring of Light. Let's see. Uchi. Chloranthy Ring should be fine. So what's this? Anor Londo, the City of the Gods. We've made it through Sen's Fortress to where Frampt told us to go. And boy, is it a sight. Just look at this place. Predominantly centered on that huge central cathedral, with a lot of smaller cathedrals, looks like, just surrounding it. So now that we're here, we have new enemies. Big new enemies. This is an Anor Londo Sentinel. This is a giant. And much like the giants in Sen's Fortress, this guy is susceptible to bleeding. The main difference is that, unlike the giants in Sen's Fortress, I think he's a little bit smaller, but besides that, he's armed and armored. But generally speaking, a pretty easy enemy to kill. They give a lot of souls, too. They hit kind of heavy, but they're not really that much of a threat, at least not on their own. Now, if there's multiples of them, then yeah, you're going to have a problem. But their aggro ranges are pretty short, so you kind of have to be trying to get them to attack you at the same time. And these guys are so big that basically everything they do, if it hits you, is going to break your poise. So that's why I've got the Chloranthy Ring equipped, at least for now. And what were you guarding? Demon Titanite. I will take as much of that as I can get. How many do we have? We currently have 9. That's not bad. I'm pretty sure there's more, but... I basically want to gather as much of that as I can before I reach that big cathedral over there. Which I'm pretty sure, at least up to this point, I have killed every Titanite demon available. Now, these guys can be safely ignored. And I'm just going to kill this guy for the souls. There's no real reason to go past this guy. If you attempt to, there is a special fog wall that's like a bright orange or kind of a goldish color that you can't get through. Because that is a quite literal visible plot wall instead of an invisible one. But can't go through there until plot happens, and plot will not happen until we finish Anor Londo. So, no point in going past this guy, but you can kill him if you want. Separation strategy, go! Now, you do want to be a little careful when clearing out this room. You don't want to fight these guys too close to the chests. Ooh, nice. Die. Alright, so... we encountered a Mimic before in Sen's Fortress, but I didn't really get much of a chance to explain more than just the basics. More or less, if you open a Mimic, it will munch on you until you die. You can kind of mash free of the grab to reduce the damage and maybe survive it, but with my HP totals being what they are, that's not going to be the case if I open a Mimic. However, since there is a regular Mimic, there's a regular chest next to a Mimic, I can use this to teach you how to ID a Mimic. The most easy way to do that is to look at the chain, if the chain's visible. Notice how on this chest, the chain is circular, and the tip of it is pointing away from the front of the chest. This is a regular chest. That is safe to open. This, notice the chain is more curved, more splayed out, and is pointing towards the front of the chest, towards us. That is a Mimic. Mimics get smashed. Crystal Halberd. And had I actually been thinking, I would have equipped the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring instead, but oh well, not a huge deal. Wolf Ring. there'll be plenty more opportunities to kill mimics coming up, so... let's see. Baldur Shield... Uchi, and where is my bow? There it is. So now that we've looted this whole upper area here, let's go down this way. Ah, a bonfire. And an NPC.
Well, you are a rare visitor. Welcome to the lost city of Anor Londo, chosen undead. If you seek Lord Gwyn's old keep, exit here and head straight yonder. If you are the chosen one, a revelation shall visit thee. What follows thereafter depends upon you. What is it? What am I? Well, I am the keeper of the bonfire. If not for me, what beacon would there be in this lost city? A gatekeeper and a guide. That is my calling. The bonfires attended by the keepers are special. They are linked to one another, and their flames never die. Yet never shall the keepers of these flames meet. If you require rest, now is the time. That is, after all, what the bonfire is for. If you require rest, that is...
Okay. But yeah, she just tells us a little bit about what it's like to be a firekeeper and where to go from here. Not that it was that hard to figure out where to go. There's only so many places to go from here. But because this is a firekeeper bonfire, we actually do get 10 flasks. Those will be very helpful here, I can tell you that. And she is the firekeeper here. If she dies, this flame goes out. So let's take a look at our inventory and clear some stuff out. Don't need Eyes of Death. Black Eye Orb will be useful here. Let's see, got all these other things. I think I'm kind of past the point where I need gold pine resin. I might hang on to it. Let's see. Got a bunch of poppable souls. We will want the soul of Quelaag, but only after I'm done doing things here. Bunch of Titanite. Any weapons I can put away? I need the falchion. Rickard's rapier can be put away. We're not going to be using that. Large club. We want to keep the demon spear. Crystal halberd. We can get rid of that. That's a weapon with a crystal upgrade on it, but I'll go over that later when it's a bit more relevant. Let's see. Put away the scythe / bardiche. Sniper crossbow we don't need. Baldur shield, all these other shields, we need those. Don't need sniper bolts. Let's see. Black sorcerer stuff can be put away. We don't need the flame stone plate ring. We don't need the slumbering dragon crest ring. We need the Dark Moon Seance ring. We'll keep hold of that. And that should be everything. Let me look at my inventory real quick. Put you up top. There we go. And then we have our various armors. Yeah, we should be good there. First things first, we got stuff to repair, so we might as well fix everything. If you hear any meowing, that is my cat Nocturnal. She's trying to get attention because now all the humans are home. Let's see. Large Soul of a Nameless Soldier. Soul of a Proud Knight. Large Soul of a Proud Knight. Soul of a Brave Warrior. Large Soul of a Brave Warrior. And we also have Soul of a Hero, but we only have so many inventory slots. Do I want to pop the core of an iron golem? Because I don't think I'm gonna have the stats to actually use the item I'd want to get from it. If this was a character that I was planning on taking into New Game Plus, I probably would save the core of an iron golem, but I think for this playthrough, since this is only going to be a regular New Game run, I can go ahead and pop it without much to worry about. So yeah, we'll go ahead and pop it. Extra 12,000 for that. And that almost puts us at 200,000, so that's not bad. Estes, Humanity. We'll put the Green Blossom there. Don't really have much use for much else. Binox and the Homeward Bow. Okay. Let's level up then. Right, I want to dump as many points into Vitality as I can. 24 Vitality I think should be fine. That still leaves us some souls to work with. Because we will need to be making some purchases while we're here, but those are looking like pretty good stats so far. Endurance will be the next thing to be upgraded. Ah, a much larger health bar. Perfect. So, looking at the time, I think we can make some progress today, so... Or some more progress, rather. I don't think we'll be getting to the bosses of this area, but I do want to at least get to... There's, like, I think, 3 or 4 bonfires in this area. I would like to get to the third one if possible. I don't think there's anything hidden in this area. No, no hidden items or anything. So before we go out, look who it is! It's our old friend, the Bell Gargoyle. I'll take that tail off of you, sir. Remember when I said before we'd be fighting these guys again? Well, here we are. Gargoyle helmet. Nice. Not bad. Now, if we go... I believe it's down that way. I just want to double check. Yeah. So if we go down here, we can get some goodies. Hello, chest. More Demon Titanite. I will always take more Demon Titanite. I need as much of that as I can get. Okay. So if we look ahead, the path is basically blocked off, and there's a switch there that doesn't work the way it should. So we're going to drop here. Probably should have just stayed here. And we're going to have to walk up this thing. Oh, I hate doing this. I mentioned earlier during a Lunacid stream, I think yesterday, there are very few areas in video games that give me anxiety due to my acrophobia. This place is one of them. Because the collisions on the very narrow walkways that you have to kind of navigate around here in Anor Londo can be a little bit wonky and make it seem like you're going to slide off at any moment. There we go. Go through the broken window, and hey, we have company. running away, eh? I somehow managed to block that thing even though it hit me in the back. So these are not a unique enemy. They're unique to this area, but they're considered a regular enemy. These are painting guardians. Can I snipe this guy from here? That's going to make my life a lot easier if I can hit him from down below. I can. Now, if I position myself just so... No, he's going to try and... Really? You're going to try sniping me with throwing knives? That's your plan? Okay, so now he's going to come down here and actually fight. Good. Get him out of the way. Oh, careful. These guys are a rogue type enemy, so they can and will backstab you. They will also parry you if you let them. Ooh, a Painting Guardian Sword. So the Painting Guardian Sword is widely considered one of the best weapons in the game if you are doing a dexterity build, because if you ascend it down the... if you take it down the standard path, I believe it's one of the few weapons that gets an S scaling with dexterity at higher levels. It's also a curved sword. The problem with it is that it also has the shortest reach of any curved sword in the game. It's just barely longer than a dagger. So you are going to have to be in your enemy's face. I mean, granted, for melee combat, you're going to have to be in your enemy's face anyway, but like even more so with a Painting Guardian Sword. And unlike something like the Uchi Katana, it doesn't have any status effects to go along with it that would help mitigate its downsides. So my personal preference for best dexterity weapon goes with the Uchi because you don't lose that much damage. Because the Uchi at max only gets an A scaling instead of an S, but it has longer reach and it has bleed. So you don't have to be as close to enemies, and the way it swings, combined with its reach, means you won't miss as often. So we'll just go ahead and vandalize the chandelier here. I believe I want to stand here to snipe this guy. Oh, headshot. Down you go. Now, I don't think I can get any closer than here without him sniping me. So, we'll use our friend Hidden Body to get close. Okay. Now, there is some treasure in there, but you have to make some precarious drops in order to get to it, so I'm not going to do that just yet. And you may notice we have another bell gargoyle there. Your first instinct might be to mess with that lever, because that's the thing that manipulates the contraption around here. However, I want to go down here first at the bottom of the staircase, because what that's going to do is it's going to give us a clear line of sight on our gargoyle friend here. And you may notice he's not obeying the laws of physics. He's just kind of running in place against an invisible wall, which leaves his head right for the sniping. Die. And we get the rest of the gargoyle equipment. So, both of the gargoyles are unique enemies. Once you kill them, they don't come back. So now the central little passageway here is now free of any hostiles. And by turning this, we lower the bridge. However, I want to lower it more. Because down here, we have another bonfire, the second bonfire in the Anor Londo area. I didn't even know this bonfire was here on my first playthrough. Made my first playthrough very, very painful, I can tell you that. Alright, so here we got the Ring of the Sun's Firstborn. Let's take a look at that. Lord Gwyn's Firstborn, who inherited the sunlight, once wore this ancient ring, boosts the strength of miracles. Lord Gwyn's Firstborn was a god of war, but his foolishness led to a loss of the annals and rescinding of his deific status. Today, even his name is not known. So specifically what that does is that boosts the power of offensive miracles, of which there aren't many. So, let's see. I mentioned before, speaking of rings, that the Dark Moon, I think it was the, what is this again? The Dark Moon Seance Ring, because there's like 2 different Dark Moon rings. The Dark Moon Seance Ring. I told you this would be somewhat important later on, which is why we hung on to it, even though we don't need the attunement slot. So you notice we have this huge statue of Gwyn here. If you are in the room while wearing the Dark Moon Seance Ring, that statue disappears. And we've got a fog gate.
Halt! This is the tomb of the great Lord Gwyn. Tarnished it shall not be by the feet of men. If thou art a true disciple of the Dark Sun, cast aside thine ire. Hear the voice of mine self, Gwyndolin, and kneel before me.
Sure.
O disciple of the Dark Sun, thou hast journeyed far. Hear my voice. If thou shalt swear by the covenant to become a shadow of Father Gwyn and Sister Guinevere, a blade that shall hunt the foes of our lords, then I shalt protect thee, safeguarding thy person with the power of the Dark Moon.
This will abandon the Grave Lords, but we weren't doing anything with Nito anyway. He just kind of sits there in a coffin not doing much, so I don't think he's going to care. So we have now joined the Blades of the Dark Moon. We get a blue eye orb and the Dark Moon Blade Covenant Ring.
Very well. Now thou art a blade of the Dark Moon, hunteth the enemies of the lords by the power of the Dark Sun.
So, New Covenant, Blades of the Dark Moon. The Blades of the Dark Moon are a PvP-focused covenant, and they are the covenant that comes after you when you have committed sins. So if we look at the items we picked up, Blue Eye Orb. Invade world of player in Book of the Guilty. Subdue player to acquire a souvenir of reprisal. Only Covenanter can use the item. These mystical orbs are granted to Blades of the Dark Moon, knights who serve the Dark Sun Gwyndolin, so that they may serve the gods in meting out vengeance. So, what the Blue Eye Orb does is it allows you to invade anybody who has committed sin in whatever area of the world you happen to be in. It acts just like a Red Phantom invasion, follows similar rules. You can't invade somebody if the area boss is dead, you can't invade them if they're hollow, that kind of thing. But instead of invading as a Red Phantom, you will invade as a Blue Phantom. And instead of killing them for a humanity, you will get an item called a Souvenir of Reprisal. And what that does on both sides is you get the souvenir, which you can turn into Gwyndolin to get extra rewards. I believe if you are really looking into a miracle-based build and you want a weapon buff, Getting far enough into the Blades of the Dark Moon, you will get a miracle called Dark Moon Blade, which is effectively magic weapon, but I think it has a higher base stat. It has higher base stats as far as its buff goes, and you can actually upgrade how much it buffs the weapon by increasing your rank with the Dark Moon Blade Covenant. Now, we also received a ring. Ring granted to those bound by the Dark Moon Blade Covenant answer Dark Sun Gwendolyn's summoning. Gwendolyn, all too aware of his repulsive, frail appearance, created the illusion of a sister Guinevere who helps him guard over Anor Londo. An unmasking of these deities would be tantamount to blasphemy. So, specifically what that does, as I mentioned when we were talking about Oswald, is that there is one particular sin that he cannot cleanse. Anybody who has committed that particular sin, if you wear the Dark Moon Blade Covenant ring, and said players are hanging out around Anor Londo kind of becomes similar to the back of Darkroot Garden with the Forest Hunters. And Gwendolyn will summon you into their worlds to kill them whenever they happen to be in the Anor Londo area. But since we are playing the Prepare to Die edition, we have no online, so those are just kind of pointless to us. Now, the main reason I do that is actually for the Dark Moon Blade Covenant ring, for a similar reason to the Cat Covenant ring that you got from Alvina. Since it functions almost identically, you can sell it to Frampt, get 1,000 souls for it, and it will reappear in the chest behind him. So whenever you're selling stuff to him, you might as well grab it while it's there. Extra couple of 1,000 souls never hurts. But now that we've rested at that bonfire, I want to send the bridge back up to the top, because now we have treasure that I want to pick up, and it's pretty precarious treasure to get to. Come on. Alright, get rid of those two idiots. I do believe I want to swap weapons at this point. I want to swap to... I believe the Gargoyle's Halberd, if not the Falchion. Because there's a guy down here in a very narrow space. There we go. Yeah. Using the Uchi in here, it just clang off the walls. Now, I do want to get rid of him. And I want to use Fall Control. Oh, Nocturnal. I think she's meowing at me specifically because she wants me to go to bed so she can lay on me, but I also have my space heater running and she doesn't like that. Okay, so rolling in between these pillars is actually kind of finicky. I've been rejected by the pillars before and fallen to my death. That is not a survivable fall. So you want to be careful up here because we got another one of these guys. There we go. Alright, that should be all of the Painting Guardians in our way to this chest. This is what we came here for. A Divine Blessing. I believe we picked one of these up in Sun's Fortress. I just forgot to comment on it. Let's see. Holy Water from Goddess Guinevere. Fully restore HP and undo irregularities. The Goddess of Sunlight Guinevere, daughter of the great Lord Gwyn of Sunlight Gwyn, is cherished by all as the symbol of bounty and fertility. Effectively, what this does is it fully heals you and removes any buildup for bleed, poison, and toxic. If you are currently suffering from poison and or toxic, it will remove those. Bleed goes away immediately whenever it procs, so you can't cure a full bleed proc from that. And I don't believe it does anything about curse buildup, though. Curse is kind of its own thing. But those are very rare items, so you kind of want to save those for an emergency. Because, like when you drink an Estus, you have an animation that plays if you actually chugging it. What makes the Divine Blessings so good is you don't have a chug animation for them. You just kind of shove it in your face. So it's a much faster animation for a full heal. Makes it really, really handy for really tight spots. So now we have some more business. We can go in here. There's some loot here on the bottom floor, one of which I'm particularly interested in, that happens to be attached to that chandelier that we knocked down. So let's deal with these guys first. Oh, I caught somebody's attention. I forgot about you. Let's deal with you then. Yeah, these guys, if they roll at you, will almost always follow up with a roll attack, so it makes them really easy to parry if you see them do that. Now, there is a lot of them, and the last thing we want is to have a whole bunch of them mobbing us, so we're going to be picking them off one at a time. Vandal! That's enough out of you. Want to move slowly. You don't want to get too close either because you don't want to attract too much attention. Teammate gets shot in the head. Huh? What was that noise? What you get for backing off? Alright, let's get this guy. Gotcha! Haha! Don't think I don't see you there hiding behind that pillar. Don't get too close now. pitiful kitty. And I just completely missed. A little bit more to the left. There we go. Stream is really lagging behind. There we go. With the throwing knife. I think there's only a handful more of them. Or are you the last one? You, I think, are the last one. Okay, yeah, so let's get rid of you. So the reason I backed off there when he did that backstep... Oh. The Black Iron set. The reason I backed off there when I was... when I backed off when he did that backstep is sometimes, even if you like hit them mid-backstep or whatever and it interrupts them, sometimes they'll still do the backstep attack anyway. So I was just checking to make sure that he wasn't about to do that. Change order, put that there. Let's see, let's look at this. I don't know why it does that. That's really annoying. So, the Black Iron set. Helm of Black Iron Tarkus, a knight known for his great strength. Built of a special black iron and providing strong defense, notably against fire, but so terribly heavy to be unwieldy to all but Tarkus himself. Yep. And I believe if we look at his shield... Great shield of the mighty knight Tarkus. Built of a special black iron and even heavier than Knight Baronik's tower shield. Especially resistant to fire attacks and effective for shield bashing. And we also have his great sword, which I don't think mentions him. Oh no, it does. One of the gigantic straight great swords. Very few have what it takes to wield this incredibly heavy damage-dealing monster. A favorite of the Knights Baronik, known for their heavy armor and black iron Tarkus. So, we can see what happened to Tarkus. He beat the Iron Golem, broke in here, and unfortunately his heavy armor worked against him when he had to navigate those rafters and got knocked off and killed. However, what we want is this corpse. Great magic weapon. No buying that from a merchant. Sorcery which improves upon magic weapon. High magic augmentation, right weapon. At Vindheim Dragon School, only magic swordsmen on special orders are allowed to learn this spell, which grants powerful augmentation to various weapons. So, you get less charges with that, but you do more damage with it. I don't remember the exact calculation, but I do know it is a more powerful version of that spell. So, we have our upgraded weapon buff. We probably will not be getting a better weapon buff for the remainder of the game, outside of potentially using a gold pine resin every now and again. But for our purposes, that's going to be our sort of magic tool of the trade, is that spell right there. So now that we've cleared out the cathedral, we can head, well, the painting cathedral, I guess. We can head towards the main cathedral. Excuse me. Go with the Chloranthy ring for these guys up here. Now, at the top of this staircase, there are two sentinels that are actually really good at covering each other's backs. So you don't want to aggro both of them at once if you can help it. I know you see me. Come on, come get some. There we go. Get rid of these guys. Alright. I want... probably the wolf ring. I think I also want the... yeah, I want the Black Knight shield coming up here. The Black Knight shield has slightly better lightning defense for fighting these guys. These are Batwing demons. These are different from the demons that we've encountered before. You can see they're very emaciated looking, almost kind of like very thin gargoyles. But they have these very bony looking spears. Those spears do almost purely lightning damage. So I want to try and take them out individually and as quickly as possible. Thankfully, they're very weak. Now, here's a tip. If they're close to a ledge, do not headshot them, shoot them in the wings. If I could hit them in the wings. They have just missed. Or they don't have a hitbox. Let's try hitting him in the back instead. There we go. Yeah, hitting them anywhere except the head will cause them to flinch backwards a little, which makes it really easy to knock them off. Hitting them in the head will instead poise break them and make them do a special, like, reeling animation that keeps them in place. Whoa! Okay, I thought he was about to... whoa! Yeah, he did do it again. Down you go. Yeah, as you can see, they can and will throw their spears. Now, fighting just one of them is not that bad. Bye-bye. I want to get their attention. Now, thankfully, these guys are too big to actually go up this little ramp here. And this makes it really easy to just kill them via sniping. Which is much easier than having to fight both of them attempting to... or one of them could just walk off. But it's much easier to do this than it is to deal with two of them meleeing you. Not to mention, these guys have some guardian angels, as it were. Okay. So, I do not want to go down there without hidden body. Looks pretty innocuous. You'd think those two being dead and that's it, but no, you would be wrong. This area is infamous. Say hello to the Anor Londo Demon Archers. Those are a pair of silver knights wielding Dragon Slayer great bows, firing lances at you while you are trying to traverse a very narrow walkway. This is probably one of the nastier traps in the game, or one of the nastier obstacles you have to get through. Everybody, and I do mean everybody, on their first playthrough dies multiple times to this obstacle. I know I died a lot. I lost a lot of humanity and I lost a lot of souls to these guys. But there's a lot of very simple ways to get past them. If you have a bow with enough range and poison arrows, you can counter-snipe them, poison them, and let the poison kill them. That's a bit more dangerous because they can shoot you back, but it is something you can do. My preferred method is using hidden body. If you have a ring of fog, that will also work, it just won't be as effective. If you have both, so much the better. Now, normally, the second you go down onto that little cathedral platform where the Batwing demons were, these guys will have already gotten a bead and have started shooting at you. And they will shoot you going up this first little walkway to this pillar. You'll notice they didn't because I had hidden body. My preferred method of dealing with these guys is using Hidden Body, go invisible, run up here without getting shot, and by the time we are close enough for them to notice, they will put their bows away. So we need to go here. Good, good. Now I need you to do that again. There we go. One good stabbing. Just need to get another good parry in, and this guy will be dead. Don't let them get distance. They will pull their bows out. Okay. So I'm going to take a risk. And let's go after this guy. Now this guy's a little more dangerous. I say as he just kind of walks off the cliff. Yeah. Oh no, he dropped an item. That would have been nice. Okay, well I want to wait for Hidden Body to wear off then, before going down to get that. Normally he doesn't just walk off the cliff like that. Normally he stays in place and just shoots you. Which, he's a lot more dangerous when he does that. But, okay. I made those guys look really easy. And I probably angered some people by how easy I made that look. So, bit of a tip, before you go down here and try to get this item, the collisions on this particular walkway are a little wonky, and sometimes you'll just randomly take fall damage for no reason at all. So, let's just go ahead and get this going, just in case that happens. You can see my character is kind of... yeah, see right there. I would have taken fall damage there, because my character was doing like a little slidey thing on the way down. Okay, we're good. So now we just gotta head around this narrow ledge. Still active. There we go. Okay, I probably should make a mention of this. Before you cross this threshold, if you are playing on Remastered, this is especially critical if you are playing this on Remastered. Turn off online. Do not play this area online. This area is a PvP hotspot, and last I heard, Anor Londo specifically had more than a little bit of a hacker problem. And we're talking like really bad hacks, like people cheating, coming in, killing your NPCs, which normally invaders can't do. So yeah, if you're playing Remastered, do not play online in here. For the safety of your save file, do not play online. Let's re-equip the Baldur Shield now. We're done with the Batwing Demons for at least a little bit. What's up, Solaire? I don't want to rest, I want to talk.
Oh, there you are. You've been quiet these days. Smooth summoning out there. Anytime you see my brilliantly shining signature, do not hesitate to call upon me. You've left me with quite an impression. I would relish a chance to assist you.
And I would gladly accept that assistance. You're awesome, Solaire. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
You really are fond of chatting with me, aren't you? If I didn't know better, I'd think you had feelings for me. Oh no, dear me. Pretend you didn't hear that.
You keep sunbroing, sunbro. Okay. Yeah, we're at about 3 hours in, so I think this is a pretty good place to stop. So, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time. We made some pretty good progress today, got past one of the hardest obstacles. And yeah, I made it to a pretty decent stopping point, so I will see y'all next time. Have a good night, everybody, and sleep well.